Hey guys, what's up? New Flash episode, it's finally back, so let's break it down. Episode 10, just careful for spoilers if you haven't seen it yet. They're doing so much hardcore Flash family stuff, so as I do new videos, I'll talk more and more about the rest of the Flash family, about the other speedsters. But there's a new round of the Flash ring giveaway. All you have to do to enter is be a subscriber and leave a comment on this video. Be sure to click that bell to enable alerts so you don't miss any of my episode videos. So many comic book Easter eggs, so let's do top 12 instead of normal top 10. So number 12, Barry's been having nightmares and he's been living with Iris for the past month. So they have this apartment together. You'd think they'd be having a whole lot of fun, but Barry hasn't told anyone, has been keeping this inside, and Iris reminds him that Wally is helping him out when he gets the call for the fire. So number 11 is Wally West learning on the job. So he doesn't know, like Barry, to canvas the situation. It's the exact same lesson that Oliver taught Barry way back during the season 1 crossover, where he's like, you are a speedster, you have the time to canvas the room before you rush in and do something. So this is really going to bite Wally in the ass down the road. So number 10, I'll say Wally West is headed for a big ass whooping. He is going to get his ass handed to him because he's so over-eager. But you can see why. He's just become a speedster, so it's very understandable, and he gets the Greg Grunberg diss. So awesome Easter egg that he shows up again. He actually appeared during the Kevin Smith episode in the first half of the season, so it's always fun to see him on the show. But he's a total asshole, just talking down Wally. Wally hears it. Maybe he's not as fast as the normal Flash. And he drops a big comic book Easter egg, number 9. Maybe we should send him to Keystone City. We already have a Flash. Way back during the Wally West era in the comics, the Ginger Wally West, he lived in Keystone City, so all of the stories, all the villains, it was all localized in that city. But when you look at the map, it's actually right here on the other side of the river from Central City. So Barry Allen's era in the comics was in Central City, Wally West's was in Keystone City. But keep in mind the TV show Wally West is sort of an amalgam of the original Ginger Wally West and the New 52 Wally West. If you've been reading the Rebirth comic lately, they've changed the African-American Wally West. Again, now he's Iris's nephew, he's even younger, and he's part of the Teen Titans, just learning from Barry Allen, who's much, much older. So TV show Wally West is sort of like a combination of all the versions of Wally West. But number 8, Caitlin invites Julian to join Team Flash. So Dr. Alchemy eventually coming to the team. It takes a little while in the episode. It's all part of Barry's arc when he finally chills out, tells the team, keeping secrets from the team is never good. So Dr. Alchemy was never part of Team Flash in the comics or anything like that. But they're doing this thing where they're sort of like flipping the alignment of some villains and heroes, just playing around with it a little bit. So the reformed Dr. Alchemy in the comics is actually a good person. So you can actually say it's pretty true to the comics, but the twist with Dr. Alchemy in the comics was a little bit different. It was a legit split personality. The evil Dr. Alchemy persona was the bad person. So you could say the TV show version is just the good aspect of his personality, but they'll be a lot of fun. They've been filming the Gorilla City episodes from behind the scenes, so you see them hanging out together on set. And the funny thing here is this is Tom Felton in real life. Well, Grant Gustin's real life first name is actually Tom. He just goes by Grant instead of Tom Gustin. So you have two Toms hanging out on set here. Real life Easter egg. But next big thing, number 7. Caitlin's wristband is fritzing out and she slowly turns into Killer Frost for a sec before she gets the battery plugged in. So the big thing here is that she is on a ticking clock. They're trying to change the future, but they want to let you know that she is turning into Killer Frost very quickly. So like the wristband is very, very important. Like that battery was only dead for like 5 seconds and her eyes flipped out. So you could imagine that if she took it off for an hour or two, she might go full-blown Killer Frost. Number 6, Barry has that first confrontation with Plunder, sets off the A story, which is him versus Wally trying to avoid this future timeline. So everything is crazy and it takes him a while before he finally starts to come clean. And eventually, thank God, they're finally cool by the end of the episode. Because Barry versus Wally is one of the worst things that this show could do. Big surprise though, HR steals Cisco's thunder, naming him Plunder for being such a pirate. So number 5, Barry versus Wally. So this is all about Wally thinking about Greg Grunberg insulting him for not being fast enough, not doing his job, so he wants to rush in and help. He's not thinking about stealing Barry's thunder or anything like that, but he starts to step into the limelight And then Barry later picks up on that, and they use that as a way to change the future, so it becomes a good thing later on. But for like the middle part of the episode, it almost seems like there's going to be some sort of conflict between them. So I am so glad that they cut that off at the pass. Like, you do not want Team Flash fighting with each other, especially Flash family. Now, they all think of each other as family, but when you talk about Flash family, you're just talking about the speedsters. So you have like that funny moment where he sticks his suit in Barry's spot. That's meant to be more awkward. Like, it could have been a lot worse if they were still fighting each other at the end of the episode, but thankfully they're all good, so Wally will chill a little bit. But like I said, he's still headed for a big ass whooping because he does not think the way that Barry does. But it took Barry a while to get there. Number 4, Wally takes down Plunder in pursuit of changing the future, gets that big crowd shot, everyone's cheering for him, it's great, great way to end the episode. They had that real awesome chase scene with Plunder with all the crazy bullets. Cisco got the gun, he's going to upgrade that, so we'll probably see it later this season, somebody will get to use it. And if you felt like the museum that they tracked Plunder down to looked familiar, that's because it looks exactly like the outside of the Flash Museum that Barry saw when he time traveled in the first season. That's still a long ways off. Like, we have to do a lot of Flash family stuff before we get to Flash Museum. But they said way back during season 1 that when we got those visions, they were going to do all those things. Number 3, Barry comes clean to Iris in the time vault and explains that in 4 months, she's going to die unless they find a way to change the future. So normally she's the one that calms him down, but now she's freaking out a little bit. He finally tells the rest of the team, but the ticking clock is 4 months. So what that means is it's basically season finale. So see what they did there. Iris is going to die in the season finale of season 3 unless they change the future, per the domino example, where they find the right events to change. So that's where we get into the headlines. And Iris pointed out a really important point. If you threw the Philosopher's Stone into the Speed Force, then how does Savitar get out? So that's another thing that they teased is going to happen in the future, and it'll probably have something to do with Barry and Team Flash trying to take steps to avoid that future fate. They will do something that will inevitably lead to that outcome. Number 2, it says Music Meister 6-figure book deal. The Music Meister episode is going to be the musical crossover. He's being played by Darren Criss, so it's going to be like a Glee reunion. There'll be a couple of them that will sing in the episode, but I'll do like a separate video about the musical crossover. But it just implies that Music Meister comes out of that looking really good. Killer Frost, still at large, so Caitlin's freaking out about that. Star Labs Museum closes, which is bad news for HR. City recovers from gorilla attack, which is a teaser for the 2-part Gorilla Grodd episode. That might be episodes 13 and 14, but they're filming those right now. It's going to be huge. It is going to be so awesome. And then Captain Joe West gets honored. So Joe becomes captain somehow. All these other things are happening. They're going to try and change them one at a time. Number 1, though, is the big surprise at the end after the party, where Gypsy from Earth 19 comes through a wormhole tracking down HR. So they've already explained like the reason for this. Gypsy has vibe powers just like Cisco, but she's way more hardcore, has much more command of her abilities, much more experience. So next week's episode is going to be all about Vibe versus Gypsy. But you can kind of see like she looks really hot, so he's going to totally be obsessed with her. She'll be a villain when they meet, but it sounds like they'll have a similar relationship as Cisco had with Golden Glider, where she wasn't totally bad, they were a little ambiguous about it. They'll probably find some alternative way of stopping her, but you have to keep in mind that HR is sort of the replacement at Star Labs for Earth 2 Harrison Wells. In the Gorilla City episode is supposed to be Earth 2, so whatever's going to happen with the future of HR on the show, we'll probably find out next week. But the other big Easter egg, there was like one more big Killer Frost Easter egg from the party where they're all giving each other gifts. They give Caitlin the solar-powered battery on that pendant, but it looks exactly like the one Louise Lincoln wears on her Killer Frost costume. So she's the Caitlin Snow Killer Frost. Louise Lincoln is a slightly different version of the character, but you see it on her future costume that Cisco saw when he vibed her in the first half of the season. So this is all implying that we're still going to get a form of Killer Frost in the future, but just like they're doing in the comics, they might make her a good version of the character because Caitlin Snow in the comics right now is part of the Justice League, so they might do that version of Killer Frost on the TV show. But let me know, what was your guys' favorite moment? It was a great episode. Cannot wait to meet Gypsy next week. It's going to be awesome. So I'll say congratulations to the new Injustice giveaway winner, Reverse Gerados. Just private message me on the back end of my channel so I can get your contact details. There was a new round of the giveaway that started in this video. I'll just announce the winner in my Flash trailer video. That'll post next. Then I'll post Legends of Tomorrow. So just a reminder, Legends of Tomorrow is on Tuesdays now. So I'll just remind everyone what the video schedule is as I post new videos. While you guys wait for that to post, you can click here to learn all about the Flash's greatest power, and you can click here to learn all about Episode 8, The Last Jedi. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Let's high five. I'll see you guys tonight.